At least 130 people have died after parts of Africa were battered by what aid agencies say are the worst flooding this century. Somalia was the worst affected by the floods, where 51 people have died and more than 500,000 people remain displaced. Ethiopia and Kenya also bore the brunt of the flash floods. People travelling by bus in the Kenyan city of Mombasa had to be evacuated and pulled to safety by rope as flash flooding surrounded the vehicle, while others waited on top, waiting to be rescued.
In southern Somalia, roads turned into rivers. We can't bring goods by plane, says this shop owner. There is a serious shortage of goods, fuel, and food. Another disaster just a year after severe drought brought Somalia to the brink of famine. Now, heavy rains are causing extreme flooding in what the UN calls a once-in-a-century event, threatening the lives and livelihoods of at least 4.3 million people. UN officials now warn a quarter of the country's population face crisis-level hunger or worse by year's end. And that's not the only danger. We can't go to some of the places in town, says this local resident. Because of the high water levels, we are afraid of crocodiles and other animals in the water. Officials say the flooding has already killed dozens and displaced nearly 500,000 people, and it could get worse as Somalia's heavy seasonal downpours are made worse by El Niño, a climate pattern typically associated with increased rainfall in the Horn of Africa.
Somalia is a country at the sharp edge of climate change, despite scarcely contributing any emissions itself. Droughts, floods, tropical storms are all too common. They're a big driver of the humanitarian crisis there. What we've really seen this year and across the last couple of years is just that pattern dialed up to 11, taken to the worst extremes.
The UN has released $25 million in emergency aid, but officials say Somalia needs more than money. It needs sustained international help to adapt and withstand the effects of climate change in the future. Idil Musa, CBC News, Toronto.